no baby bundles. There's so much that I need to say, and I don't really know where to start, but I guess I will start at the fact that in August of this year, 2018, I got a positive pregnancy test. And as you guys probably know, we've been trying to conceive, and I have not been updating at all. It's just been a rough ride of just disappointment and tears and too much going on for me to remember to record. And it took a while now even for me to decide to record, but I think that it'll be very informative and help, and I think it'll help me, but I also think it might help some people out there. I'm sorry if you hear banging around. I have 2 dogs over and they're being loud, and I'm sorry about that. So let me get you some dates I have here on my phone. I had a period. Well, no, I didn't have a period in July, but I had some bleeding in August after I got the positive pregnancy test. So my last, my missed period, or my last period, I think, was July 25th. So from that, I was convinced that we conceived because I got a positive pregnancy test, and of course I took more. I took 4 more, I think, and they were positive, but then I started bleeding. It was very weird. It was a very strange period. It didn't make much sense. It wasn't like my usual periods. I usually, TMI, have very heavy periods. And so it was just light spotting, and it was very strange. And that started August 22nd. But then my periods disappeared. September and October, absolutely no period in sight. I assumed that the light spotting was implantation bleeding. Because I've had a C-section before, I just assumed that maybe I had bled a little bit more than a couple of spots, and that's why I was bleeding. So we decided to go get an ultrasound done. So we went to a little mom and pop place called See Me in 3D, and I will link them in the description. They were amazing and very patient with us because I wasn't even sure of my dates or anything. I just knew that by this time in October I had about 3 pregnancy test boxes full of positive pregnancy tests. But I noticed that the line wasn't getting much darker. It was there, definitely, but it wasn't getting darker, and so we were concerned. So, of course, we had to go get an ultrasound. At the ultrasound, I would have been 11 weeks, and so we went in, and she did not find a baby. And we were very disheartened and upset, and I didn't know what was going on. And she suggested that if my pregnancy tests were positive, that I might be having a tubal pregnancy, and that I should probably go into the hospital as soon as I can to get checked out. And so we did. And they did a vaginal ultrasound, said everything looked fine, didn't see any tubal pregnancy, didn't see any sign of pregnancy. So, once again, we're upset and confused, and we don't know what's going on. And I guess I was just like, okay, I guess I'm not pregnant. A couple weeks after that, it's well into October now, and I would be 14 weeks. I started feeling weird flutters in my belly, and I was freaked out because if I wasn't pregnant, why was I feeling these flutters? And when I was pregnant with my first child, Hayden, I started feeling him at 14 weeks, exactly on the dot, and it felt exactly the same. And so I thought that maybe we should get an at-home Doppler. So I have my Doppler here. We got it off of Amazon, and I love this little thing. I think it's very useful. Anyways, I got the Doppler. I did a lot of research, reading, and watched a lot of informational videos to figure out how to use it because I was very confused and did not understand what I was doing. And I didn't want to be the kind of person that, you know, just assumed that I knew how to use it. So I did some research. After doing research, I found a heartbeat immediately, right where the person said it should be for how far along I was, and that had us absolutely freaked out. We did not know what was going on, and we still don't. Long story short, after doing way too much research, way too much sleepless nights, I've come to the conclusion that I'm having a cryptic pregnancy. Now, I know lots of people don't believe in this thing, and, you know, to each their own, but I know what I'm going through. I know what I'm feeling inside, and I have more than 15 positive pregnancy tests. In the research, I found out that I have an undiagnosed bicornate uterus, to which then we went to get an ultrasound to make sure that that was true. I noticed that in my pictures with my son, many of the nurses thought it was cute that I had a heart-shaped uterus, and I didn't think much of it until after I did research and found out that if you have a bicornate uterus, it is harder and almost impossible to see a baby on an ultrasound. And so I was curious, and it turns out that I do have a bicornate uterus. My septum is not full, it is half, which makes it even more difficult to see the baby because it could be attached to the septum. So I guess I assume that's why we didn't see a baby on an ultrasound. So I've been using my Doppler to keep track of the baby, and I found a second heartbeat. That is not news that I would want to hear. And please keep in mind that this is not the kind of pregnancy that I want to be going through. I want to get ultrasound pictures, and I want to announce it to my family, and I can't even announce it really to my family. This is weird, and nobody would believe it, and I barely believe it myself. And it's hard to keep it secret because there's nothing that, I mean, I wanted a baby, but I did not want a baby this bad to the point where I would be going crazy like this. Anyway, found a second heartbeat. Twins. Joy. Now I can't confirm that it's twins, but we're gonna say it's twins because 2 separate heartbeats and all. Sorry, that's my cat. Anyway, this vlog is going to turn into, am I cryptically pregnant or not? By the end of this, if, you know, My due date is May 1st. If I don't have babies then sure, I'm, you know, maybe a little crazy. But if I do have babies, at least it has been blogged about and talked about, and it could help somebody. And that's definitely what I want to do. Cats are loud. Anyways, so what we're going to do in these vlogs is I'm going to measure my belly, you know, show you the bump, and then we'll listen to the heartbeats and some of the movements, and then I'll give you some updates on how I'm feeling. Right now I'm feeling really crappy. So one of the things that happens during cryptic pregnancy is that your HCG is just basically non-existent. I must have enough HCG to get a positive pregnancy test, but not enough for my body to recognize that I'm going through a full pregnancy. I've had almost 5 months of no period, and now I've started to bleed. Now, it is not like a period I've had before. It is heavy and there's plenty of clots, and I'm concerned, but the heartbeats are still strong. I'm still feeling movement, and so I'm just assuming that maybe it's just bleeding because of placenta, or it's just a period because my body doesn't recognize that it's going through full pregnancy. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I'm new to this as much as you are, and I think we're gonna learn together. So here's my belly. Artemis. Artemis. Shh. Anyway, this is my belly, my bump. I would be 18 weeks. I'm going to be 19 weeks on Wednesday. So this is my belly, the bump. From this side, my belly button is going to be popping out soon. This side. Not very big, but definitely bigger than I was with my son. So let's measure. I have this nice little tape measure here, and we're going to start 1 on my belly button. I've never done this before. Can you believe that? I wanted to do it with my son, but just didn't find the time. So, all the way around, we've got 42 inches. 42 inches round. That's pretty big. Alright, now let's listen to the heartbeats. It might be a little quiet. I will try to enhance it post video. If I cannot, I do apologize. Maybe I will post one of them, you know, posted. So I got my towel. Here. And then I use the aloe vera 100% gel. It is amazing, and it lasts way longer than the little tubes that you can get of the ultrasound gel. I need to get a bigger one, but I just didn't think it was that important, honestly. So I'm just going to get this nice and jelly before I turn it on because it's loud and obnoxious. The baby on the right side. Now, the thing to remember if you have an at-home Doppler is that it can take a while to find the baby's heartbeat unless you have done it plenty of times and know generally where your baby is. I've been told that swishy sound that you're hearing could be the placenta. I'm not sure. Seems like the baby does not want to. There we go. Now that's baby right. I'm not going to stick there for too long, because, you know, I don't want the video to get too long. But baby right is usually measuring at around 170 to 145. It depends on if it's awake or if it's asleep. I'll get you some proper readings with the Doppler up close when I had time. We'll go listen to the baby on the left. There we go. 145. 137. Sorry, it's because I'm moving. Notice how I'm keeping it very still. So, that's the one on the left. Obviously, it's awake right now. That's why its heartbeat is so loud or so fast. They slow down when they're sleeping, usually to 135. And I will make a video of the movement a different time, because right now I have to go take family pictures, and so we're kind of in a hurry. Now I know that some of you will say that that was my heartbeat. My heartbeat is usually around 87 to 76, and I always check. Like I said, This is not a pregnancy that anyone would want to be going through. I don't want to be going through this. I would much rather have a normal pregnancy. So basically, I'm going to be doing pregnancy updates, and if you don't believe me, that's perfectly fine. You can say that you don't believe me, or you could just click off the video. It's already going to be hard for me to do this anyways. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, I will happily do Q&As, help those in need. As far as I know, I'm 18 weeks with twins. Their kicks are getting stronger. I can see the movement from outside of my belly. My fiance can feel them, and he interacts with them all the time. My grandfather has felt them move. So I don't feel like I'm crazy. I don't think that I'm making this up. I think that I am cryptically pregnant, and I want to share it. Because I hate that it's a secret. It doesn't need to be. I want people to enjoy it, and if I don't get babies out of this, that's alright too. It's okay if this was in our heads. It is. But I don't think it is. I think that we're gonna have 2 babies in a couple months. God. And I hope that you guys will follow me on this journey. Thank you.